Welcome back to Focal Point, and I'm here again with Teri Glass, an addiction counseling student here on the campus of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And we're going to continue our discussion regarding the substance abuse experiences that she has had in her life and how that has impacted her parental strategies. And so, Teri, let's start with, we've talked about the experiences that you've had and the things that went on in your life that maybe allowed some of those behaviors to occur. How have your past experiences affected the way that you parent?
I'm always on guard. That's me. I wake up every morning on guard. I'm never relaxed because it's not a relaxed situation. It can enter into my house because in my mind, it's in my DNA, in my mind. I don't know scientifically, but that's in my mind. And it's what my child was raised around. I have 3 children, one which was raised all through my addiction. So I'm on guard always with her. But I've never relaxed. And I'm always wondering, why are you doing that? Or I'm always analyzing. So I'm always on guard.
How do your children react to that?
Comfortable. They understand why. They understand why. Which my oldest is the one that I pulled her whole card. One day she got caught experimenting. I knew she wasn't fully up under the substance, but she experimented, and I could tell she was because I was on guard. And she comfortably told me that what had happened and everything. But she knows, they know the reason why, because I don't want to go down that road with them, and I don't want them to go down that road that I went down. So
you talked earlier about parents sometimes turning a blind eye to the things that are going on. What about the parents of the other students or children that your kids hang out with? Do those parents have similar attitudes towards substance abuse as you do? Or are they those who will, it's just weed?
I socialize very small with, because I don't trust people. And being from a drug addict's point of view, and I know what people can do, because I've been to people who put things under the covers, doctors and people's houses. So I just try to keep my children in a certain community of allowed people, because I don't know what people do in their off time. I'm not going to be at that house looking through the windows noticing what they're doing, and I don't need them to write me an essay of what they're doing. So in order for me to keep all that calm and all the paranoia away, I just select certain people that we socialize with.
How do you select them?
I select them by my family and the family of good use, and my son. I kind of start getting into their lives, I get into, if he has a friend, I meet the mother, they go to birthday parties, birthday parties come to my house. I just try to get to know the parent. And if I get that vibe that there's something else going on, which I will, because there's a red flag in every addict that's been addicted or alcoholic, I will not socialize with that person. I will socialize and be polite, but as far as sharing my child no, I will not do that.
How important do you think it is for parents to know the parents of their friends? I mean, it's easy. You've been at work all day and you're at school and it's hard. You're tired. Little Johnny wants to go to a birthday party. Okay, I'll just drop you off.
I'm sorry. You cannot be relaxed on that. You're going to have to muster up, go drink some coffee, take something to kind of get yourself back alive. Just say, wait a minute, I have to take a shower. You cannot get relaxed when it comes to your children and substance abuse, any type of drugs. You can't. That's where you go wrong. You say, okay, well, go ahead. You're taking a chance on a life, and I'm not willing to take that chance on any life.
Well, but she's never made mistakes before. She's always been a pretty good kid. She makes good grades. What's the big deal?
I still have to know where you're going.
Why?
Because I am the parent, and I am responsible for you and your future. And I know the big bad wolf is out there to steal your life. And in order for me to do my job that God has given me, I have to make these decisions for you until you come of age to do your own falls and pitfalls. But until you get there, I'm sorry, I'm the governor.
When you think about your kids now, the ages that they are, do you picture their futures? And if so, what do you see?
Yeah, I picture their futures, and 9 out of 10, I'm right. I saw their future when they were given to me in my arms. My daughter wants to be a cosmetologist, and I see that, and she wants to be a psychiatrist. Well, she knows that she can't be under the influence of drugs and alcohol to be productive like that. And plus, my life has showed her what drugs and alcohol will do. My son wants to be a Marine, and I've told him, first thing I told him when he wanted to be a Marine, Marines don't use drugs and alcohol. And we went through that. I'm just trying to embed it early.
Right.
But yeah, I see their future.
So do you focus on that to help keep them focused? Okay, this is what you said you wanted as a goal. Here are the things that you are going to need to do. Do you walk them through that process?
Yes, I do. Through the whole process. We walk through it. We don't run through it. We walk through it. I don't minister every day about preaching about drugs and alcohol. I don't do that. I don't have to, because I've already embedded that seed into their spirit. But with anything that has to do with a life-changing experience, I do kind of throw it in. Well, you're going to have to stay on the right path and do the right things and do what people tell you to do and stay away from drugs and alcohol and things of that nature, yeah.
So as a parent, and considering your own parenting style, how effective is it if, as a parent, I come to you and I say, don't do drugs? I'm finished. That was it. That was
that was the whole pitch?
That was it.
Well, I'm gonna go use drugs because that really.
But I told you not to.
It doesn't have any reason why. You got to give them the story. You see, you could tell a baby, don't touch that, it's hot. They don't understand what you're saying because you haven't given them the example. Now, if you just let that baby get warm to it, it'll say, okay, that's the story. It's warm, it's hot, it burns me. You have to finish the story. You have to play the film out. Yes, they will make their own decisions, and some of them will choose to do it. But I'm hoping that they will not hide it from me, so I can help them through this process. Honestly, as a parent and a mother of that was on substance abuse, I can't make you stop doing whatever you want to do, because that's your life, because it's your will. But I will try to help you. I will not enable you in the process, but I will get as much help as I can for that person, for that child of mine.
How open and honest are you with your own children about your past?
Just as open as I am with you and this interview. Everything. They know everything, especially the oldest one. She knows a lot. But yeah, if they ask me any question, I'm willing to tell them any answer, because it's a life. It's all about lives. If something I can say can change a life, and if me holding it back in the steps of NA, in order to keep sober or clean, we have to give it away. That means being rigorous, honestly with yourself. And I cannot say, okay, well, I'm going to talk about this, but I can talk about this. I can't do that, because this is a life that I'm talking about. So whatever they want to know, they just have to be able. I tell it to them not in an adult way. I tell them in a way that ages.
And when you're speaking with them, even about your own past, do you get the impression sometimes they're thinking, oh, yeah, that's her, but that's not going to happen to me?
Pardon me?
Do you think that they see that is something that happened to you, but that doesn't necessarily relate to them personally?
Well, that's the fear that I have installed. Well, not that I have installed, but my past and the history of my daughter going through that with me, that has been installed in her. She's like, I don't want to do it because I'm fearful that I would become like you, and all that she went through. And you know, when you're younger, the picture is more vague. So she's really in tune with that. She doesn't want to go through that. But with me, I wake up thinking that they have a chance to becoming that. And just prevention is just the policy.
And so when you talk to your kids, I know when we teach parenting, we talk a lot about having family meetings where everyone is sitting down together and we're all talking about certain things. Do you have something that looks like a family meeting where you meet regularly, or is it just you see something happening, or you have that mother sense and so you meet one-on-one with a child? How do you approach them?
Well, we don't have family dinner. I think in our house, that's everybody's time to get away from each other, you know. Y'all go upstairs. That's why we got cable in every room. But and computers and Wii's and everything else. But what we do is, when I see it, like my mother would say, nip it in the bud. So when I see it, and I'll just look at that child and I say, hey, come on, let's talk. Or I'll see it going on and then I'll plan it mentally in my mind. Let's go do some one-on-one. You know, if it's just taking my son to a museum, but my son's only 8, and right now we do that when he gets in trouble. But just something, I have to have that one-on-one. I can't have any distractions, because this is, like I said, I keep saying over and over again, it's the life. But no, we don't do family dinners. And we tried having a meeting every week. It didn't work. Everybody was given a chance to vent, and it ended up in a disaster. So it's just better one-on-one with mom.
Okay. So what are some positive things that you try to bring to your children to keep them actively involved, so that they don't get bored and they don't get lonely?
Well, I'm a mother with a lot of energy. I'm 38 years old, and I think that plays a lot with with the age group, if you have small children, you have to have energy. You have to pretend you have energy. You have to fabricate it as much as you want to. So I do that, and we go places, and I say, and every other weekend, because we have to stay serious about our education and stay on curriculum with that. But every 2 weeks and 3 times a year, we take a vacation. So we do get out a little bit, but it's very hard.
It is. What are some of the things that you would do? You mentioned the museum.
Oh, we go to the museum. We do race cars. We'll just drive, like in the fall, we'll drive out to the cornfield maze and get lost. And we'll have our walkie-talkies because we don't believe in getting lost in my family. We don't do that. That's paranoia. So we just have fun like that. And we go out to the pumpkin patches in the fall. We go to Texas. We just got back from Texas. We're getting ready to go on a cruise, which we won't be able to go on another trip until next year after that. But we do events like that. But we mainly do a lot of just walking around the plaza, just seeing other parts of Kansas City, going to St. Louis. You know, just whatever mom finds on the internet.
Just
That's
spending
free.
time together.
It's free.
It doesn't have to cost money. And I think a lot of times parents think that. It's like, you know, if I'm going to spend some time with my children, well, I don't have money for this and I don't have money for that. And it doesn't necessarily have to cost.
I got to add addictive behavior. We need things free.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had, what advice would you give to parents of teenagers and preteens when it comes to trying to prevent them from participating in those harmful behaviors?
Number 1, get involved with all the literature you can get on any drugs and alcohol. You need to take the time to get involved with all literature. Even drugs that you think that's not in your neighborhood, you need to get involved with that and get aware of the signs and the symptoms. 2, recognize the sign. Look at it. Give it a name. Call it, you know, and get in touch with somebody that might be able to help you. Do not ignore it. It's only 3 little steps. You don't know? Find somebody who knows, who can help you. And we're not talking about diagnosing at a hospital. Get involved with somebody, not a doctor. Get involved with somebody who wakes up every morning and deals with drugs and alcohol behavior and get some help before you end up having a hurricane later that you can't control because you don't have the right tools.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And seriously, thank you for sharing your personal story and
no
for
problem.
the advice that you have for our parents.
Anything.
Like I said, Teri Glass is an addiction counseling student here, and she's already active in the community and helping with substance abuse prevention. That is her passion, and I think you can see that. And so I thank you for joining us on Focal Point, and have a wonderful day.